Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tim, and today I'm continuing my playthrough of Knights over Stalingrad. We left off partway through the 25 November turn. If you recall, we evacuated some aircraft from Oblovskaya, flew past Morosovsky and dropped one damaged aircraft off there. And we're on our way to Tazinskaya. We've arrived actually and encountered some Soviet fighters. This is where we're going to attempt at least to deliver the remaining evacuated aircraft. But first we have to face a few rounds of combat against these fighters. One thing I did want to point out regarding the Soviet fighters, there are all these different IAPs that you can potentially pull from, and each one has kind of their own unique mix of aircraft and pilot experience. In particular, the Ninth Guard, if you look at them, they're all aces and veterans. Plus, you have a chance to get a wingman as well. So that, depending on who you're coming up against, could be a very different experience. All right, we ended up here with the, who was it? The 13th, I think, was who we got. Yeah. So we've got one ace, a couple of veterans, and then a couple of experienced that we're up against. Let's see how this pans out. When we left off, we had already rolled for their initiatives of everyone, so we're ready to jump right into the combat here. Oh, I did want to also mention there were a few couple minor mistakes that I made in the previous episode. I've noted those in a pinned comment, so if you didn't see that yet when you watched it, you might want to go back and check that out. One of which was I totally overlooked the fact that this mission card overrides our weather roll and specifies that the weather is clear skies. So go ahead and get that changed now. And yeah, so the -1 to the flak rolls shouldn't have been in place. So we may have actually, I think there was probably a couple cases where that -1 turned a hit into a miss that we should have actually been hit on, but I'm going to try to go back and correct all that now. Also, I had overlooked the fact that if it had been cloudy, we should have been getting a -1 on our ground attack rolls as well. So we'll definitely keep that in mind for the future. All right, let's trudge on here with this and see if we can manage to get away from here relatively unscathed, hopefully. All right, so we're going to start with our gunboat here. He's going to attack this fighter. So we'll do his attack roll with a D12. Ooh, nice. 2 hits, and they're A rating, so that's going to do some nice damage, hopefully. Oh, yeah. 5 and 3. Oh, I was hoping for another 5. All right, so we got 8 damage on him. And he'll do a damage check. Failed it. Almost a critical. And yep, that'll do it for this guy then. Now this one that we just attacked will come after this fighter. And he will roll a D10. Missed. Okay, we've got, this is a fighter, yes. Okay, so he'll go after this one. Oh, I should mention too, I mean, none of the None of the Soviet fighters will choose this option, but technically there should be an airfield target here since we're over Tazanskaya. So had there been any enemy ground attacks or dive bombers or anything like that, they would go after. Well, and I think if there's no other, I forget. There's some checks you got to make. I think it's for some of them at least. It's if there's no other aircraft to attack or no other ground targets other than the airfield, they'll go after it. But in this case, they're all fighters, and non-player fighters will not bypass to go after the airfield. All right, so let's continue on here. So this guy's gonna throw a D10. Ooh, nice, 2 more hits. These are gonna be B rating. So 3 and 2. 5 hits on him. Damage check. Passed. All right. This guy's going to choose to go head on here. So let's roll that. So we get a D12. He gets a D8. These back first. And we missed. And he missed. All right, so even though this one has lower experience because it's a fighter, and this is a ground attack, he will go first here. Cannot do a head-on attack against a ground attack aircraft, so he's going to come after this one with a D8. Missed, and then the Ju-87 has a dorsal gunner, so he will get to return fire with a D6. Ooh, and we hit. That'll be a C level hit, which is 1. Oh, this was the guy with the wingman, so we're going to put that damage on the wingman, actually. And then he'll roll a D8 for a damage check and passed. All right, next up, this one will also go after this aircraft. The D10, he missed. And their ace with the D12. Ooh, and he missed. Oh, forgot. Return fire against the veteran. Ooh, we hit him. Let's see how much damage that did. 1. And his damage check passes. And then return fire against the ace. No, couldn't go 3 for 3. All right, and then wait a minute, I just realized I messed that up. Let's do a little bit of a rewind here. We'll keep those results, but before these guys went, I completely forgot that this guy gets a chance to go after this one. Let's see what he did. He missed. So, no change, but definitely don't want to forget those attacks when we can make them. All right, that's going to end round 1. Happy with those results. Let's see if we can repeat them in round 2. And now, actually, now that we're in round 2, pull this guy off too. Our aircraft that are attempting to land here, which is going to be our JU-87 and our HS-123, when it comes up to their initiative turn, they can actually attempt to land now. There will be some negative modifiers for that, but I think it's probably going to be worth trying to get them on the ground. Especially let me see. I don't think the Soviet fighters will go after them once they've landed. Soviet doctrine was for fighter aircraft to prioritize the attack of any bomber transport over other aircraft. Has the option to bypass other aircraft. Yeah, so they'll go after bombers and transports that are in the air, but not. They won't go after any aircraft that have landed. So once we get them on the ground, they'll be safe. All right, so let's get our initiative rolls here. Everything's just unmodified this time around. So a D12 plus 7. Ooh, nice. 17. We got a D10 plus 5 for this one. 15. D10 plus 8. Wow. Rolling a lot of 10s here. 18. D12 plus 7. Not so good there. D8 plus 6. Also 11. Be able to go head on there. This is our lead with his wingman. So D8 plus 6 is going to be 8. D10 plus 3. Ooh, yikes. He's going to have a tough time surviving, I think. D10 plus 6. 14. D12 plus 6. 13. Wow, they're getting really good rolls. And then a D8 plus 3. There we go, 11. Hopefully it looks like this might be the only one that ends up going after him, so he might be okay. Hopefully this guy gets by. All right, let's see what we can do first, though. All right, so this one's going to try to take this guy out. He only needs 2 more damage, so I think any hit will do it. And there it is. 2. That'll definitely do it. Don't even need to bother drawing him. So he's destroyed. Get rid of his damage, flip him over, and then roll for the pilot. Fate. D10. Bailout check. He bails out. Ooh, he is captured, though. Nice. That's 2 points. All right. Next, so he's done. See if he can put some hurting on this guy. A D12, just 1 hit. A though, only 3. So it puts him up to 4. Damage check. He fails it. Nice. At least it'll make it harder for him to get 2 hits. All right. In this case, the non-player fighter would prioritize a flipped aircraft over unflipped, but neither of them are flipped, so it's just going to be a random choice. So we'll do even for the fighter, odd for the Stuka. He is going after the Stuka, unfortunately. All right, so D10. All right, he missed. And then we get return fire. Missed as well. And this guy, again, he'll roll to see which one he gets. So even for the fighter, odd for the Stuka. He's going after the fighter this time. And he missed. Well, they're getting good initiative rolls, but they're getting very poor attack rolls. All right, so that means we can now go head on here with our gondola, which is the new terminology that these will have. D12 for us, D8 for them. Miss and miss. Wow. A whole lot of missing going on. All right, so that means this guy can now attempt to land. Now, because we're attempting to land in round 3, well, first of all, because we were attacked this round, nice if both of them went after the fighter instead. But because we were attacked this round, that's a -1 to the landing check. Not on the damage side. I forgot that in the last one too, but we were okay anyway. There's no airfield damage. It's clear, so he actually gets a +1 for that. But yeah, now that I think about it, it was actually clear when the other one was trying to land, so those kind of balanced out. The +1 for clear and the -1 because he was damaged, so it was actually a straight roll for him. This one's going to get a +1 for that, though, so that negates the being attacked this combat round. And then bombers or transports landing on round 2 get a -1, but this is not a bomber or a transport. So with those, if you want to risk waiting until round 3 to land, then you won't get that -1 for being a bomber or transport. But in our case, we just have the -1 for being attacked and +1 for it being clear. So we just need a 2 or higher on a D8. Yes. So he lands safely. We'll just put him up over here for now. And hopefully this guy will have that opportunity next. But first he's going to get attacked by these two. Just by the lead. But okay, so he's going to roll a D8. And he did get a hit. B level. 3 damage. Hopefully you can slough it off. Oh, no. He gets flipped. All right, and then he will attempt to land. And again, -1 for being attacked this round. +1 for being clear, but now -1 because he's on his damage side. So a net -1. So we're looking for a 3 or higher here on a D10. Yes. All right. Oh, I did also get clarification on, we mentioned in the previous episode, in the mission parameters here, it mentions that at least 1 ground target must be destroyed and 1 ground attack aircraft must land. That does include both ground attack and dive bombers. So hopefully we'll get that clarified on the card. So there's no question there. All right. So we did accomplish those 2 goals, so we aren't going to be losing a campaign point. campaign morale point. We do have a third round of combat to finish, though. All right, so D10 plus 8. 13. D12 plus 7. Nice. 19. D10 plus 5. It'll be 7. D12 plus 6. Also 7. Sorry, what am I talking about? That's 11. Math is hard. D12 plus 7. Ick. 8. D8 plus 6. 13. And D8 plus 6. 14. All right, good. So we're going to have a chance to go up against this pilot and wingman. Don't remember if we had this happen the last time. Well, I think we did, but they were both green, so they didn't get any sort of advantage. This time, though, so when you attack a pilot with a wingman, you have to attack the wingman. And based on the experience level of the lead, you suffer a negative DRM to your hit roll. So because this lead is experienced, we're going to have a -1 to our hit roll. So D12 -1. Well, I kept it from being 2 hits, but at least we got 1. Only 3 damage, though. All right, so let's get him out of the way for the moment. Whoops. What happened? There we go. And we got them stacked in the wrong order. All right. So 3 more damage, puts him to 4. And damage check, he passes. So we go to done. They will now attack us here. The D8, and they miss. We can go head on here. So D10 for us, D8 for them. We get 2 hits. They get none. He already has 5 damage, so this should do it. 3. Yep, that's it right there. And 2 more. So 5 more damage. Destroys this one. And his pilot does not bail out. We'll mark him as KIA. That'll be another extra point for that experienced pilot being killed. All right. And we go to done. All right, they get a shot at us here with the D12. Now they're starting to hit. 3 and 3. Yikes. 6 damage. All right, damage check for us. We pass. And then let's see if we can finish this guy off. He's got 4 damage. We're the gunboats. We're doing A-level damage. So let's get a nice roll here. Yes, 2 hits. 3 and 4 makes 7. That would also kill dorsal gunner if they had one, but they do not. So 7 damage is going to put them at 11. So they're done. And we'll roll for that pilot. Ooh, just barely manages to bail out, but is captured. Okay. That worked out pretty well for us. All right, we can get rid of this now. So let's tally up our points. Each of these fighters, destroyed fighters, is going to be 2 points. We get 2 for this captured pilot. That's 8. 2 for this captured pilot, so that's 10. And then 1 for this experienced pilot makes 11. We lose 1 because one of our HS-23s got damaged. So that'll put us back to 10. And nothing else. Looks like a net plus of 10 mission points. We were at -6. That's going to put us at +4. All right, all these can go back. Let me clear all these labels first, though. Be easier to just retype the 13. Yeah, there we go. All right, these can all go back to their pile. These can as well, since they're not part of our squadron. And these are back in our current flight box. And now we just have to make it back home. All right, just double check I'm not missing anything else here. Yep. All right, so we are completely composed of fighters, so we can use diagonal movement. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll move up to here. So that'll impose a +1 DRM on our event check. 5 becomes 6, which for row 5 is no event. And then we don't roll for an event when we enter our home airfield for landing. So all we got to do now is land, and I believe that's whoops, wrong one. None of us are on our damage side, and we get a +1 for it being clear, so it's impossible to fail our landing checks. So we all land successfully. We can remove that damage. And these just all go back into our ready box. And I believe that will conclude the mission. So let's go to our post-mission steps. Back here. Post-mission, where is that? Mission. There it is, section 15. Place returning aircraft that have been flipped to their damaged side in the repair replace box. We didn't have any of those. Aircraft that took minor damage, removed the damage counter and placed in the ready box. We did that. Did not have any wounded or evaded pilots. That's probably wounded or evading. It says evading down in the rules text itself. So. Let's see. We don't have any of those. No destroyed aircraft. So mission points, we've already calculated those as we went along. So now we can spend them. We can purchase morale points, either positive or negative. So now this time we only ended up with 4 mission points. So with the new prices on morale points, we can only purchase 1. Actually, even with the old prices, we could only purchase 1. It takes 10 now to get 2 campaign morale points and 20 to get 3. So we will definitely do that. So these will basically flip-flop. And we have 3 mission points left. We can also... okay, then, yeah, and this is a step I forgot last time. So if we had fewer than 2 dogfight cards, we would draw up to 2. But we currently have 3, so we're good there. Actually, yeah, we're allowed to have 3. Once we get to, if we make it to 4 morale points, I believe, we're allowed to have an additional, yeah, our morale at that point will be hopeful. And we can have an additional dogfight card, so we'd be allowed to have 4. If we get to 8 morale points, we become confident. We get +1 DRM on detection advantage checks, and if we get to 12 morale points, we're elite. And we get, and these are all cumulative. We would also get +1 to all friendly pilot experience on first round of combat initiative roll. That's pretty nice. On the negative side, if we get to -4 morale points, we're nervous. Then we have 1 fewer dogfight card that we're allowed. So we'd have a limit of 2. If we get to -8 morale points, we're worried. -1 DRM on detection advantage checks. So basically the opposite of the positive effects. -10 morale points is defeatist. -1 from all friendly pilot experience on first round of combat initiative roll. And then if we get to -12, we're grounded and sent to the rear for refit. So that's kind of an auto lose condition, is -12 morale points. All right, so we can't purchase, well, we can purchase dogfight cards if we wanted to get rid of some of these, I guess. But yeah, I was just thinking, I wonder if we maybe should have used this on one of our actually, yeah, that's a question then. Can you use these dogfight cards on other than fighters? I don't remember if they can only be played on fighters or not. But I don't think we would have wanted to do this with our aircraft that we were escorting, because we wanted them to land, and I think if they break off, then of course, how would that work? I guess they'd be not involved in the combat anymore, but then they would still land at the end of the combat. So yeah, maybe it would have been something to consider. Positional advantage. Yeah, we just have to get a larger initiative differential there. Although we may have been able to use that last time. Need to pay more attention to these. This is only if we have a wingman. So that, I guess that may be something to consider. Of course, we wouldn't have wanted to do it this time since we only had 2 fighters. Well, 3 because we spent for extra, but when we get a mission where we actually have 4 fighters, we may want to consider making someone a wingman so that we can actually use that card. All right. Yeah, I think I'm happy with the dogfight cards we got, so I think we'll just bank these 3 campaign points that we have left over. So that'll put us up to 5. So close to being able to purchase a recon aircraft again. Or if we wait until we get to at least 10, then there opens up a lot of other possibilities for our banked points. One thing to note on the banked points is if you finish your mission with negative mission points, then after you spend as many as you can for negative campaign points, which you're required to do, any leftover negative mission points will get subtracted from your banked points. So basically you have to bank the negative mission points too. And they'll reduce your total. All right. Don't think there's anything else. Oh, yes, there is. There's nothing else for spending mission points. We will then go to the post-mission card. So we get to draw another post-mission card. Let's see what we get. Night Witches. Night Witches. Oh, this sounds like a bad one. The Night Witches pay your airfield a visit. Choose one of the following. Take 4 points of airfield damage, or 1 aircraft is damaged. I think damaging an aircraft is probably the preferred choice here, since we have plenty, and it only costs 1 mission point to repair them. If we were to take the damage on the airfield, that's going to have a negative effect on trying to land, and I think possibly, you only have to roll for takeoff if there's ground fog. It doesn't look like airfield damage affects that. But how many mission points does it take to repair airfield damage? Yeah, see, it's 2 mission points to repair 4 airfield damage. So we're better off damaging an aircraft since we have plenty. Now, it doesn't say how to choose which aircraft is damaged. I'm going to think it should probably be random. Maybe that's something we should consider adding onto the card there. Because obviously if it was my choice, I'd pick the experienced pilot, but I don't think we would have that much governance over which aircraft they attacked. So we're going to do a random roll here. So just left to right, top to bottom, 1 through 8. And we got a 4, which of course is one of our aces. So he needs to go over here. So he won't be available for the next mission. All right. Don't like that card. But it's good that they're not all positive effects, I guess. All right. Spent mission points we took care of. Yeah, so the last thing is advance the calendar date. So we will be on to the 26th November turn. And return this. All right, so that's going to wrap things up for this episode of Knights over Stalingrad. Thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video. It's a little disheartening when you have 100 views on your video and only 3 people liked it. But I know a lot of people just don't bother clicking that. But if you could take the time to click that like button, it does help out the channel. And if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends that you think might also enjoy it. And then if you want to get notified whenever I post new content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click on the bell to get your notifications. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this episode. We'll be back for mission number 3 in our next episode. We'll see you then. Bye for now.